Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. I thought I'd have a little fun. Today is November 20th. NVIDIA's earnings are coming out. You can see here, this is a 3-hour chart. Let me go to daily. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take a quick look. Wow, look at all this drawing I've got. Okay, we're going to reset everything. And we're going to take a quick look at my ADL predictive modeling. First thing we're going to do, we're going to try to target some support and resistance channels. See if we get anything that looks good. Okay, I'll try to push one down here somewhere in the middle, right around support and resistance. That looks about right. And what I did here, guys, is I looked for this gap here, channeling across here, breakdown, rejection, rejection, back above it, rejection, break, rejection, rolling back above it, gap down again, rejection, rejection, back above it. So this looks to me like a pretty good intermediate channel. Now, in order to do this, we had to rely upon my wrong direction. Wrong direction. Hold on. Let me get where I'm supposed to be. Here we go. So we had to rely upon my ADL predictive modeling system. And my ADL predictive modeling system, this is the daily chart, shows a clear rotation down to the 136, 138 area. So let's draw that here. 136 to 138 area, roughly right into this area, being a pretty solid rejection area. In fact, I'll do it a little different. I'll do it with a box. 136 to 138. So roughly right in this area. And then we have the ADL weekly predictions here. No, here. Sorry, wrong one. Right here. That show a fairly deep downturn. This is weekly, moving down into the 122, possibly 114 area. So I am going to start by looking at these middle projection areas around 130, 134. Then secondarily around 122, then secondarily around 114. So if I were to come in here and move down to the 130, 132 area, and then we had another one down here about the 114 area, and come back here weekly, and another one around 123. So come here, 123. So here's the areas to the downside that are being predicted for NVIDIA. And we really have this range here. You can see it moving downwards. So if I come in here and edit, now these are, like I said, predictive ranges. Let me explain to you what we have, okay? So markup. So we have the downward ranges here. Okay, let me pick a color here. Don't know exactly how to pick a color, so I'll just deal with that later. There we go, color. I think we'll just go with red right now. The downward red ranges really move into this area, this area, this area, and I'm looking for clusters, guys. And then we have the upward green area moving really up into this area, moving sideways, coming across here, and moving up into that area. And then we have the more central area moving kind of across this area, sideways, channeling, and moving up and out. Okay, so you can see how we've got this kind of a range, but a really big surprise range here, potentially down into this, let's call it 130 to 123 area. So if I were to come back over here and kind of say, hey, where are we headed? I would tell you that we are headed into this 130 to 123 area for support, which happens to fall right back into my line here with the lower trend channel. So I would think that we're going to be in for a bit of a surprise, rolling down into this channel, maybe in line with my anomaly event, and then trying to move out of it. So I'm going to leave these up for you guys here to take a look. This is the NVDA weekly ADL predictive modeling system where I've drawn the upper and lower channels. Remember, I try to ignore the white lines. White lines mean that it only had one data pattern for that particular bar. So these were essentially the close going forward. We had no data going forward here. Blues indicate that it is a downward trend below our target entry price when the bar was selected, the close of the bar was selected. So these indicate downward trending. Blue, yellows indicate upward trending. And again, these can be upward probability back from this bar over here, hypothetically. These give you a pretty solid low target and a pretty solid upper range target going out. And again, these are weeks. So this is going all the way out into next year, 150, 160 into June, July, August of next year. These are 20 weeks out into the future, almost half a year. Okay, so now we get rid of this and we come back to the daily. Daily shows we have this almost immediate potential for a downside move into 130, 135, 133 to 136, 137. Potentially downward. We didn't get any blips down in this lower area. And then we have these upper channels here. So if I were to come in and edit this, I would come in hypothetically to my markup tool and I am in blue. So I will go to red and say that we have a pretty good chance of moving here. And then eventually moving up to here. If I were to then consider the upper range in green, I would turn around and say we have a chance of moving across this range. You can see fairly high, consolidating out over here. And then if I were to consider the middle range would technically be like this. Pretty flat, guys. Pretty much going nowhere. We're at 145. It may end up at like 149. And this is daily, going out all the way into January 20, so December, going into the end of the year, basically. End of the year. Okay, so there's your NVIDIA breakdown. Before we get to data, I would urge you guys to watch this one, call it, if I were to draw it here, let's make it a different color. I would urge you guys to watch this area, okay? Really testing below this level here and potentially this level here on a daily breakdown. Okay, I really think if we get a breakdown, which I think is going to be the case for NVIDIA, we're going to see this 128 to 130 area touched pretty quickly. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Let me get back over here. Sorry to use my ADL, but it's the best I can do for predictive modeling. And here we go. Looks like the news is about to hit. So good luck with this, guys. Remember, we're watching this low level right here. That's your target range right there. Make it red. That's really your target range right now on this daily chart. Breaking down into that lower range right here. Okay, guys, talk to you soon.